It just cuts me like a knife inside. Well, you're wrong. Or were you just leaving high? You always said that I've let you down so many times, but now you see that all I ever did was try to get your attention for just one little loving word. But now I'm gone, and our bridge is about to burn. I don't have to like you, but I love you. You're my flesh and blood. I don't have to like you, but I care of what you're thinking of. I don't have to like you, but I'd miss you if you went away. Oh, please tell me you love me before I fade away. I don't have to like you, but I love you. You're my flesh and blood. I don't have to like you, but I care of what you're thinking of. I don't have to like you, but I'd miss you if you went away. Oh, please tell me you love me before I fade away. Here we go. We just stepped into the ring again, toe to toe. Tell me when will the spotting end? Pain, it hurts. It just cuts me like a knife inside. Will you run? Or will you just leaving high?
It's lunchtime and the Brooklyn Cafe is open for business. Live from the Amp Media Studios, Dawn and Freddie S. and their team are ready to serve up a huge portion of fun for lunch with friends and neighbors. So let's break open that lunch pail and unwrap that sandwich you brought and take a front row seat in the Brooklyn Cafe and get ready to enjoy some humor and hot topics. It's time to get a healthy serving of hope and happiness to help your day go by with a smile. Your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S., are ready to talk about food, health, dating, or just plain dream making. If you have a story to share, movie review, restaurant critique, or just a coincidental thing that happened to you, call in toll free 888-994-4995, Studio A right now. Sit back and enjoy your lunch break at the Brooklyn Cafe. Here are your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S.
That's all yours.
Welcome to the Friday show. So
Friday
now
show?
You have me. Is that me? Is
No,
that my phone or you?
it's
Is that
them,
you?
I think.
What's the matter with you?
What's
What's
the matter with you?
man? I gotta tell you, you brought back a throwback today. All of a sudden, I'm gonna have to sort of sit in the corner and have me a rum and coke. Rum and coke was the day. Was the thing of the day. We used to dance at all these clubs that she knows and everything else. But the hustle was great. Latin hustle, which a lot of people don't talk about, was even greater.
Happy Friday to you.
The Bronx lit up. You know, they say Boogie Down Bronx. It had to do a lot with the hustle dances
Really?
and everything else. And it's funny because In the day, they were doing film work for some of the dance, like Flash Dance, all these deals. And I remember being in the Bronx on DeKalb Avenue. Underneath the L, she stopped everything, all the traffic, and they had some of these guys that I knew, Cardboard Charlie and everything, and they filmed some of
Cardboard
that.
Charlie?
Yeah, he used to have this big cardboard,
Oh.
and he used to break dance on it, and that's part of the film if you watch Flashdance. But she held a block party on DeKalb, and it was all about the hustle.
Do the
And-
hustle. Do, do, do,
And
do,
they
do.
brought out speakers. Speakers were hanging out of the windows of the apartment houses. This is the way we used to do block parties. And the speakers are taller than you. And they used to be in the windows, and they used to blow out the sound all through the neighborhood. And people used to have piraguas, you know, piragua,
Piragua.
all that
Yes.
stuff. And food, and they used to bring out hot dogs. And it was a block party, and everybody got into it. And she's bringing back all these memories, man, because we used to dance in the streets. It was just like West Side Story was a real deal.
It's amazing, isn't it?
I got to tell you, it was the best. I didn't even share out the show.
I
You
know.
got
you've
me
been
all
bu-
emotionally
you've
tied up
been
here.
busy talking. Big morning, though, in the cafe studios. Been busy,
very
huh?
nice, very nice. You did a double header today. Congratulations. I didn't think you were going to pull that
You
off.
you can't do that. We have such an amazing crew.
First
that
of
we
all,
can.
I didn't know who was coming. 1, 2, like 8 people
We had more
showed
hands
up.
than I anticipated,
That's
but
right.
yes.
That's what I was worried about.
But they got it. I can't say I did anything except facilitate. They did it.
They bounced well today.
So Sally did a great job. Call Me Zena with Sally Bernard. And you can call into her show on Mondays. But today was a pre-recording. We'll be airing it on Monday at 3 o'clock as she's celebrating the holiday. And she met with Lynn Everard for edition 2 of Call Me Zena, her story. So after their meeting, I'm hopefully she's going to come out and talk to us today.
Big announcement on Wednesday. We have Mia coming.
Oh, it's going to be
Now
amazing.
check this out.
Concert pianist, yeah.
Mia has her own makeup artist.
Is she coming too?
So the makeup artist, I talked to Tony, want to know, do they have an area where we can, so I'm going to take my chair, I'm going to put it over there so she can come in.
Or you can
and
just
get
put
all
it in the
lit up.
back and do it.
No, she needs a mirror. It's got to look, this lady is.
Making me clean up my office?
Yeah, I'm moving you over. And then bringing you back. I'm just saying that it's nice that somebody called us and they want to do this.
Yes.
And she's going to play this piano. She wants to meet the 104-year-old piano. And she's very intense. You seen the video?
Is she
and all that?
American?
I don't know. I was afraid to ask her.
I don't know.
I don't care what she is. We got to sort of situate cameras around her.
Yes.
Because she says, how long do you want me to pay? And I says, well, the show's 2 hours. I played 2 hours. Wait a minute. There are other people to interview. And she said, what do you mean? And so I sent them some tapes so they could see how we do things. But I am looking so forward to this on Wednesday. And then Thursday night, I may have a shocker. Not this Thursday, the following Thursday. I got a big band coming in. I'm going to keep my fingers crossed.
Well, I got U2 tribute band coming in the following Thursday.
Following
So that'll
Thursday.
be on the 13th. So a lot of good stuff.
Stuff is blowing up.
All we got to do is blow that next storm away from us for next week.
But I'm thinking, now that you brought her in,
Do the hustle.
we do a hustle deal on the Thursday night.
Even she knows it.
The-
Even
You
they know
don't
the
know
hustle.
the hustle. You know how to hustle? Yes, you do. You don't?
Well, we all have
We were
watched
just talking
Saturday
about
Night
that. She
Fever.
says everybody can learn.
But we've got Marianne Rosa here. We're talking about an event that's happening in March, a 4-day dance event, bringing back the hustle, the Latin hustle, and I think the hotel manager is going to be joining us on a VMix call. We've got Bye Fly Lady Die joining us because September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, and we have to pay tribute to a longtime friend, Ariel Anaker Cancer Foundation. So we haven't seen Lady Die in a long time. So she's going to be joining us on VMix at 1 o'clock.
Okay.
And I think the hotel manager, I don't know when he's on, but we're going to bring him on as well and talk about that. But a lot of great things happening here in the
This is
cafe.
Great stuff. And everybody can learn to hustle. True? Everybody can learn to hustle.
Absolutely. Everybody can learn the hustle. The younger population as well. We're doing Hustle into Paradise. It's a 4-day event, beach location, so it's prime time, prime location. And the thing that's different about this venue, most dance events have, a lot of competitions, a lot of shows, and rightfully so. But we're taking a different spin on it, and what we want to do is a 4-day dance festival where it's just nonstop dancing. So it will be nonstop dancing, and it's attractive to everyone, from beginners to experienced to the pros. So the pros will have opportunities to do private lessons. We also have a bunch of pros, international, world-renowned pros coming in to do workshops. We have Al Liquid Silver, we have Jose Solano, we have myself and Elliot, who are two of the event promoters. We also have Gustavo Rueda coming in. So we have a lot of the pros coming in to do classes in between the dancing.
So you're teaching the dance? Or
Well, I want to cue up the tape.
Oh, okay.
So we all know what she's talking about, because for some of us, we don't know what it looks like.
Yeah, let's cue up the
So
tape.
let's cue up one of the videos.
Was that you dancing in there?
That was in New York City at one of the annual dance parades. We were just warming up. And as you can see, Hustle is just such a fun, happy dance.
It is. It is.
It's incredible. So we got Marianne Rosa here, and we've got Darian of Hotel True joining us, the Hilton True, sorry, in Pompano Beach. I don't know. I want to be where you are right now, because that looks so beautiful.
Welcome to Pompano Beach, Florida's warmest welcome. I'm right now on the rooftop of our property. As Marianne explained, we're hosting their Hustle into Paradise. And we are a dual branded Hilton property, just brand new in this new area of Pompano Beach that is redeveloped. We have restaurants, shops, and a beautiful pier, which is right behind me. You guys can see it. That was just reconstructed. Again, as Marianne explained, this is something different that most dance competitions, or not competitions, conventions do, where the attendees are the performers instead of people performing for them. And Marianne's vision with her staff is something beautiful, and we're happy to have them join us in our property. And it's going to be a wonderful event for many years to come that we hope to host them.
Well, it looked beauty. Marianne, how did you find the Hilton True?
Oh my gosh. So, we were looking for hotels, and I actually had gone to another hotel, and they said, you have to go see this hotel. It was like a mile away. So I said, okay. So I walked over there and I met Daryl, and instantly, I fell in love with Daryl. He's great. And what that hotel has to offer and the location is just incredible. Just incredible.
Yes.
And it's been incredible working with him. And I just know that all our guests are going to be so happy here.
Tell us a little bit more about the event. It's a 4-day dance event.
Yeah, so
Do
it's
people
4.
sleep?
A couple of hours, but you'll.
Open Wednesday through Sunday, Movies of Delray offers great admission prices, low concession prices, and quality customer service. Movies of Delray provides the quality of the big box theaters without the price tag. Movies of Delray provides new Hollywood content as well as new indie and independent movies. It truly is a hidden gem. Whether you're hosting a private event, party, or fundraiser, or are looking for your next date night activity, Movies of Delray is the perfect choice. Come on down to Movies of Delray, located at 7421 West Atlantic Ave in Delray Beach, or visit us online at moviesofdelray.com.
Le Sorel Restaurant, home of the authentic Italian tradition, offers a large menu that consists of seafood, steak, homemade pasta, brick oven pizza, and homemade desserts including a wide wine selection. We also have the best bar in Boca Raton with delicious cocktails, homemade limoncello, cappuccino, Italian espresso, brandy, and other specialties. Open every day with a lunch and dinner menu. For more information or to make a reservation, contact lesorelrestaurant.com or call 561-235-5301.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
Touch me, don't let this moment end.
tell you.
Marianne Rosa, Hustle into Paradise. If you miss it, enjoy it, dance it, check it out, hustleintoparadise.net. It is March 30th through April 2nd at the Hilton Pompano Beach, the true Hilton Pompano Beach. So more to come with that, hustleintoparadise.net.
Register and show up. You know, it could be a whole lot of fun. Now, you don't have to do the 4 days. You could do 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever you want, yes?
You can.
Because sometimes what
Yeah, but
happens
you know,
is,
once you're there, Freddie.
what
It's
is it,
like-
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday?
Yeah, mostly everybody's coming for the event, or at least Friday and Saturday night.
All right, so I think we've got our other good friend, Diane, joining us. B-Fly Lady Di. Is she on, you guys?
Is she on?
And there she is.
How you doing?
We're great. How are you doing?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me on.
She's in her car because she's
looks
on her
like
lunch break.
She looks like Jordana Frost.
We have
Are
not
you
seen you in a
kidding?
long time.
It's been so long. How are you both?
We are doing fantastic. I know it's the end of September, and we tried to connect all month. It is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, and what's happening with the Ariel Anaker Cancer Foundation?
I have to tell you, are very, because this month actually were able to vision and the goal donation one children coast to coast, and we have with all the families that we're probably in about 17 or 18 now, with about 28 hospital partners from coast to coast.
Diane, I'm going to give you our phone number to call in instead of doing it this way.
Yeah, because we're
Because your
losing-
Wi-Fi in your car, we're losing you.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to give you our phone number to call in. So I want to make sure we get all the information out.
Okay, great. No problem.
All right, so I'm going to send that over to you.
Okay, great. I will follow.
Was
Let me
she
text it over
moving?
to her.
When she was driving, was she moving?
No, I think she was in the parking lot at work because they were kind enough to give her 30 minutes off. So I wanted to give her our phone number to put that
Where's
in.
she working?
We got to find out.
Yeah.
We got to find out. But while I do that, you want to talk to Marianne?
Yes, Marianne and I were going to open a club.
Studio.
I think it would do really, really well. I don't think that anybody's ever seen the kind of clubs that we used to do back in the day.
You know, for me,
Today.
Saturday Night Live was a movie because I grew up down here. And when I talk to you, your stories, you're like a walking Saturday Night
I bet you she
fever.
has the same stories.
You're like a walking club. He eats his pizza a certain way. It's like the stories of the Bronx and the clubs. We didn't have that growing up in Florida. Totally different. Where are you now in New York?
Long Island.
Were you always there?
No, I'm a Brooklyn girl.
She's a Brooklyn girl.
Where did you,
She's a Mike.
where do you, use a mic, where do you, what are some of the places that you used to go dance?
Oh gosh, okay. In Brooklyn, Pastels, Club G, Plaza Suite.
Club G was nice.
Yeah, Long Island, Uncle Sam's, 231,
You didn't
Channel
come up
80.
to the Bronx?
And the Bronx, yes, there were clubs I went to. I can't think of the names of them. If you say them, I might know.
Well, there was a couple of ones in the Bronx. Act 2 was in the Bronx. We had
Oh, what's the one? Side Street.
Side Street.
That's where we filmed Summer of Sam, actually.
Wow.
Now, you were in the movie Summer of Sam?
I was.
Now, you know what that is, right? That was a scary movie.
I was going to say, I don't remember a dance scene in the movie, though.
No, you played the blind. Were you dancing or you were one of the...
I was a dancer.
You were.
Yes.
I'm thinking, was that like a violent, gory?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to put it together.
Yeah. There's some club scenes, though.
There are.
Yeah, so we were in the club scenes.
Carlito's Way, you weren't in Carlito's Way?
I was, and I have friends that were in that movie.
I was in
though.
that movie.
You were?
Yeah. And they threw me
Oh.
out.
Because
I
you
had a
weren't
big-
some, yeah, you
I
had
had
a
a
thing.
big fight with somebody on the movie. But anyway, Carlito's Way was another club. wasn't it?
Yes, I heard. I was away during that. I heard it was fabulous.
See, I would have met you. Holy
Yeah.
small world.
You know everybody, is all I can tell you.
I run into a lot of people.
We actually have a CD to give away, don't we, while we're trying to
Yes,
get
yes.
Diane on?
This was last night's guest.
You remember Firefall, the group?
Yes.
So we had Chuck Kirkpatrick here on our Thursday night Cafe Night Train, and he was performing some oldies, and also with CeCe Clevenger, some new songs he's got going on. So we're giving out an old school CD.
Old school CD.
Also, okay, we've got the caller on. So give us a call also, 888-994-4995 to win an oldie but a goodie, a classic. All right, let's see if we can get Lady Di back on the phone. B-Fly, Lady Di.
B-Fly?
She's never been here either.
Nobody's been here. Hello.
Let's see if we can get a better audio on this. We're going to try this one. Oh, tell us what you've been working on.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
You hear us?
Great. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so.
There is a delay in the feedback, so I hear myself.
There's a delay and she hears herself.
That means audio B is sending it back to her.
So you got to take off the...
We got to take C off of B.
Take C off of B.
All right, we're going to try this one again. All right, so tell us, September, what have you guys been working on?
This month, with Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, we have been swamped and been receiving a lot of requests from families that need help. So I'm putting it out there right now in the beginning of our interview, which I, again, want to thank you both. It's really wonderful to be with you today, and I thank you for thinking of me and inviting me back onto the show. But I really have to put a request out and a plea. I'm begging everyone to please find it in your heart to come and make a donation to the Ariel Anaker Cancer Foundation. We are in desperate need of funding because we actually just received 7 families' requests for help around the country. I just helped a lady in Tampa. There's a lady in Phoenix. There's another parent in Tennessee, 2 parents in Tennessee, 1 in California, another in Houston. I mean, they're coming out from all over. And then I'm getting contacted by social workers all around the country that want our information because they have families that need help. So these families are needy. The families that we help are very needy. That means that they're not working. They are 1 foot away from being homeless or evicted out of their apartments, or they're in foreclosure on their mortgages. All due in part because their children are sick with cancer, and they are in the hospital with them every day. You know, as much as possible, they have to be there, you know, when their kids are getting treated. So most of these parents don't have jobs. Single parents, I have a lot of single moms, and they're not working. They can't. Plus, the child is not the only kid they may have. Some of them have more than 1 kid. So it's really a hardship financially and emotionally for these families, and that's where we come in and step in to counsel them emotionally and help pay bills for them. So, you know, our fundraising base, because of COVID, we really had not been able to go into public arenas to try to do fundraising. So we rely heavily on Facebook and social media marketing for our fundraising. And, you know, we put a plea out there. We ask everyone to please try to do a birthday fundraiser for us on Facebook, or, you know, just please find it in your heart to go on our Facebook page or our website and make a donation. So that's what I'm putting out there today, that I really hope everyone will pull out the checkbooks and credit cards and make a donation to us, because these families really, really need our help.
How much money do you typically give a family?
Well, we go case-by-case basis, and it depends on what they're really asking for. But I will tell you right off the bat that most families ask us for their rent or their mortgage. And a lot of times I advocate for those families and tell them that whatever money they have coming into that household, they need to pay their rent or mortgage as much as possible, because that is the only true constant that they have security-wise not to lose their place. So, but we do help, and I could probably say that based on the amount of money that we have at any given time, that we would be able to assist families anywhere from the lowest being even $200 to $300, and as high as even $1,500 or more if we have it. It really just depends on the need of the family and what they're asking and what we have in the bank.
And I have to ask you, you set this foundation up because of a personal loss. You lost your daughter. How old was Ariel?
Ariel was 11 years old when she passed away in 2001 from Ewing sarcoma bone cancer. And she fought for over 3 years. So, you know, this was my promise to her. And my trademark slogan is one mother, one daughter, one promise. And I live up to keeping that promise every day.
Put on the set.
You know, that I'm out here trying to help these families. So we've been doing this for over 12 years. The foundation has been fundraising and helping families for over 12 years. And that's why I said I'm so proud to be able to help families coast to coast. So we're not just here in Florida. I wanted to make Ariel's name great everywhere. And people are calling us they're finding us online on Google, you know, just finding financial assistance for children with cancer, and our name is popping up.
Are you still
So
singing?
we have a big social media presence. I am. Beefly Lady Di, my alter ego. I have 6 songs out on the market now, and I'm doing an EP currently in the studio recording 4 new songs. 2 of them are done, and the other 2 we're working on.
Could we do
And
a
I'll be releasing
fundraiser?
that very soon.
Diane, can we do a fundraiser,
do a
with
fundraiser.
Beefly Lady Di, maybe on our Cafe Night Train?
We could do that.
Yeah, I can look into getting the material together. I would like to wait until my new EP is out.
Yeah, we can.
So that'll be soon, very soon, and I will contact you and let you know. We can work on that together. I would love to do that.
That'll work.
We do a music show on Thursday nights called Cafe Night Train, and we work in conjunction with Oldies 95.3, 96.9 VCMG Live, and it would be really kind of nice. We do great music to bring you in and
We'll do a fundraiser.
put a
We'll-
fundraiser around it to bring some
we'll
money
start
in and
a
pay
couple of
tribute to.
hours earlier.
Yeah,
And then cap it off with the train.
what do you think?
I think it'll be a lot of fun.
We would love that.
That would be awesome. We will work on that together, and as soon as my EP is done, I'll have some new material to bring to you, and I'm pretty sure everybody would really enjoy it and like it. So, yeah, I would love to do that.
And
Thank you so much for that offer.
How do we donate? How do we get people involved to donate to the foundation?
Well, like I said, we have our website, which is arielanakercs.org. It's ArielAnakerCS.org. And our Facebook page is Ariel Anaker Cancer Foundation on Facebook. We have a donate button there. So if anyone does donate on Facebook, we get 100% of the money. If they donate off of our website, it goes through PayPal, and they take a little bit of a fee, which
All right,
is
so
not
you
a
can go
big
right
deal.
through the website and donate.
But, you know, we do get, either way is great, although I do beg and ask everyone, if they are going to be on Facebook, to please send us their donor information, because a lot of people just remain anonymous, and then we really have no way to contact them or thank them properly. So I really would love for them to put an email there or some kind of contact information.
In your foundation, so people who donate can get their tax form, their charitable donation as well?
As long as I have their information.
Okay.
Yeah, if they're anonymous, I have no idea. I only have a name, and that doesn't do me any good.
All right, so more to pump out. Let's put something together, put that around for you. Beefly Lady Di.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you so much for
Thank
taking time out of
you.
your day. All right, let's
I
bring
really
her in.
appreciate you having me on, and I look forward to coming on and singing for everybody.
We can't
It'll be
wait.
Wonderful.
Have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you. I wish you all a very wonderful weekend, and to everyone out there that celebrates Lashana Tova. Thank
Lashana
you so very
Tova,
much.
honey.
Very cool.
Thank you.
Right. I gotta tell you, Beefly. You know, in the day,
A long time,
in the
Freddie.
day they used to have all those kind of names.
You
So
know.
I'm saying, is that her name or
Her
her?
name is Diane, but the interesting thing is our crew doesn't know this because they set the set. Ariel's favorite flower was the sunflower.
Sunflower.
And on our set. Our crew put this up there, and they don't even realize what they did. So it always works as it should work. Let's take a quick commercial break. We're going to put this together with the Ariel Anaker Cancer Foundation. Check that out on Facebook, or it's Ariel Anaker CF for cancerfoundation.org. Make the donations. There's so many people in need, and you ever need a change of perspective, you realize that a water jug in the garbage certainly can't compare to what other people are going through in life.
True that.
Stay tuned. It's the little things that matter, and we'll be right back.
When it comes to investigative services, you can't settle for inattentive or irresponsible services. PI Network of Florida is a firm that you can rely on for actionable insight for personal or professional matters. From surveillance and insurance claims to background checks and identity theft, the investigative services are extensive. With over 30 years experience and 2 decades of serving the community, PI Network of Florida is trustworthy and reliable. Call today at 786-768-4394. Trust your gut. Trust PI Network of Florida.
Born in Marseille, France, Max Lazega creates whimsical and free-flowing interpretive art. His 40 years in the construction industry created the foundation for his craft. His unique work displays his view of the future with bold and playful combinations of materials and processes, but the methodology remains consistent. He fuses recycled materials and discarded building supplies into a fresh, well-executed approach. Lazega has lived in Miami, Florida most of his life, where he pursues his lifelong passion of creating industrial art. For more information, contact Max Lazega at artworkstudios.org or 786-326-8873.
Meet Jay Harmon, one of the many artists held in the Brooklyn Cafe Gallery. Jay specializes in various different art styles, but his medium to work with is colored pencils. His unique style comes from being self-taught and years of practice. Jay pulls his inspiration from many outlets like people, television, celebrities, and many more. With multiple original pieces, Jay's art graces the gallery with over 40 plus works for viewing and for purchase. His many years of being an artist has given him a chance to partner with the Derwent brand, giving him the opportunity to try many different work styles and further his craft. Feel free to come down and visit the studio to view his work, or if you're interested in your own Jay Harmon original, he's open to commissions on his website, coloredpencilartist.com, or catch his show, The Colored Pencil Artist, on Amp Media Productions on YouTube and Facebook. See you soon.
Hey travelers, everybody wants cheap airfares, but where can you find them? You call Smart Fares. Our prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low they're not published anywhere. Smart Fares specializes in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rentals, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, Smart Fares can help you get there cheaply and with the best price guarantee. If you want the absolute lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call us right now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these low rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the lowest rates available, so don't wait. Call Smart Fares right now for the best price guaranteed. Save up to 50% off business and first class. We've got great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 855-828-0198. That's 855-828-0198. 855-828-0198.
If your family is suffering from inflation and high costs caused by Lois Frankel's reckless policies, Republican Dan Franzese is clearly your best choice for Congress. Dan is a successful businessman who understands finance and economics. He's not a politician. Dan grew up blue collar and knows how tough inflation is on working families. Dan Franzese will go to Washington and fight the liberals who are killing us with inflation. Dan Franzese for Congress.
I'm Dan Franzese and I approve this message.
Artist Rosie Sherman paints her passions to share with everyone. Expressing herself through bold and vibrant colors, her suggestion and style are always in flux. Inspired by travels, nature, romance, and the human spirit, Rosie makes sure her depiction of women are strong and proud. Her landscapes illustrate the changing seasons in the diverse world that we live in. To find her artwork in the multiple medias you can purchase, visit rosiesherman.pixels.com.
been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
Hello. So for today's news, we have a few different stories. So we're going to pull up the first image soon. There it is. So this is a photo of the new James Webb Space Telescope that obviously captures the clearest view of Neptune's kings. So this is the photo. We're going to go to the next photo. So apparently, it's been known that Taylor Swift might be performing at this year's Super Bowl's halftime show. So there's been hints on Facebook and all over the internet that NFL might be dropping hints about Taylor Swift performing on the halftime show this year. So it's a little bit different than the usual lineup, so it's pretty exciting. And then we have one more photo talking about celebrities' birthdays. So I believe that this is Anthony Mackie, I think. He's 44. And then we have Bruce Springsteen is 73. And then we have Ray Charles at 73. Even though he died at 73, but yes. So that's all we got for today, and we will go back to Dawn and Freddie now.
When I saw Ray Charles, I thought he was alive. I said, wait a minute.
The only good news that we do. Only good news. Oh, look who's back.
She's in the house.
She came for 10 minutes.
There was a bet that you weren't going to come. Let's, you know what? Let's do this
We
now.
can put her
your
here.
bags down. Yep. Let's do this now because we have to.
Because I've been crying for 2 days. I may as well just keep on going.
We have one of our originals, OG interns, producers, is leaving us after 4 years. 3 years.
Yeah.
And I asked her to come back so we could do this proper.
So as soon as she comes back.
We'll put her in the blue. And
So it's been one of those kind of couple days for me.
It's just been that kind of week.
I know.
Sit in the blues over there. And
We
let's
got-
put camera
She
2
can
on
sit
her.
here.
No, sit right there. Put camera 2 on her for a second. This is quick because she has a lot of things that she needs to do, and she's fitting us in because she's on the uptake of what needs to do. Make sure we got the mic on her, and we'll go in.
So was it 3 years ago, I think, Sabrina came to us as an intern her freshman year, and we thought, oh, we'll have her for a while if she comes back. And every summer, just on Sabrina, and every summer she would go away to an amazing internship and take full advantage of the offerings of her school and worked really hard and did theater. And she'd go and she says, I'll be back. And every year she would come back. And even this graduating in 3 years of being in college, and makes me very sad, but today is her last day.
You done?
I'm done.
I just wanted, pick up the mic. I wanted just to say thank you because you have been not only influential helping us grow and go, but you've helped all of the producers. Everybody loves Salsa. And I call her Salsa because I couldn't remember her name. And I just wanted to thank you in public because I know you're going to go on to bigger and better things. She's done some outstanding work outside of here, and she comes back. I was shocked she came back. What was it, your 4th tour over here?
No, this is 3.
3?
This is 3.
It seemed like 300. I was shocked that she came back one more time, but she got things to do. She got places to go and places to be, and we don't like holding them back if they find something better, but you always have a home here. I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you, And again, thank you, because not only that you affect me and her, as you could tell, but everybody that, and you've met a lot of people in this place. You've seen them all come and go, grow up, move on. They came in shy and they left tigers. I mean, you know the story better than anybody else. So I just wanted you to come back so we could say it properly. You know, not just you disappearing in the middle of the night.
And you juggle school and internships and now grad school and moving to New York, maybe?
Hopefully, we'll see.
Going to NYU, maybe.
Hopefully.
You never know. Maybe Marianne has a connection for you in the world of film and theater.
You never know. It's a small world.
Thank you guys for everything. You're going to make me cry, but I'm already crying, but.
But we thank you for everything you've done. You teach. What do they say? See one, do one, teach one. See it, do it, teach it. And you have been one of the most amazing teachers. And look at the crew that you've helped create and produce. So I don't know how many interns, producers you and I have been through in the cafe. It's hundreds. I think so many. I found so many of their paperwork back in my office yesterday, and I thought, do I keep them? What do I do? But there are those that stand out, and there's probably maybe a dozen or so that have stood out in all of these years. And you and Alana, who left yesterday, are certainly some of the most spectacular that we have had. So we will miss you, and we love you. And you always have a home with us. And hopefully Friendsgiving it is.
Hopefully, yeah.
Hopefully you still be here, yeah.
So she'll be back joining us. So thank you. We love you. And I got to say that today, I came in and I told you what was on my agenda for today. And you went, you're not going to get all of that done. And I'm like, yes, we are.
Hey, but I didn't know you had all these hands.
I didn't know I had all these hands either, but God always provides. So we did a special show today of Call Me Zena with host Sally Bernard and her friend and new, I guess, publishing house, Lynn Everard. They were coming in for a meeting, and I said, let's do it at the same time, because I thought it would be really nice to get insight into the next edition of Call Me Zena, because I had questions from when I read it, and instead of backtracking over the mistake the previous publisher did, she's going to be creating a second edition to go more in depth on what her journey has been like. And
more in depth.
More in depth.
More in depth.
As to why her name is Zena, as to why she started with so much financial abundance and then she says lost everything. And even I said, what does that mean?
More in depth.
More in depth. And I don't know if she's going to reveal who she was in her past life, but we have to go over and.
She said she couldn't.
They're on they're on mic 5 and 6.
Are
Sally Bernard.
Are you allowed to tell us now?
I can, but it'll make people keeping on tuning in. I'm going to let maybe in about a month's time from now, right?
Maybe we do a write-in poll. Can you guess who she was?
Perfect. Yes, that would be very interesting.
Well,
Please write in and say who you think I may have been.
How was today's show?
Oh, it was great. I feel very good. Please tune in. It's coming out on
Monday. We're going to air it on Monday.
Airing on Monday, yes. I think it was really nice. We discussed some of the things that are going to be put in the book. And we kind of got to know each other a little bit more through the process. So we both have a very similar way of thinking, so it's going to be easy for me to be able to share some of my stories with Lynn.
You know, what's interesting about this connection is you both are aware of your past lives, not together, but separate past lives. Mm-hmm. We talk about energy and people coming forward. Sally is also a medium and a psychic and has her show called Call Me Zena with Collins. So it's interesting perspective that you can both bring forward. Does Lynn help bring that out, past lives, for you, a way to express it?
Well, the good thing is I can usually tune in the moment I'm asked a question. I mean, not in my everyday life out there, but obviously in the studio here, I love it. And you seem to be asking all the right questions, so I'm tuning in to what we are meant to be talking about, which is really good, because you really don't know my whole story, but it's a great way now to be able to prepare for it. Ask me a question and I seem to be able to answer it.
Lynn, what are some of the questions that you felt were important to ask?
Well, I think the first thing I want to say is that I try to ask questions, but I don't do it in a way that's an interrogation. It really becomes a conversation with the questions that come up to go to like the next level. So if Sally is talking about something in her past in this life, and she shares an experience that she had, then I may ask her a question about that within the question is the possibility of another perspective. And then that provides her an opportunity to potentially see that perspective and then answer the question from maybe a deeper and broader sense of possibility.
I feel like it's going to be a more circular, full edition as opposed to a linear is what it looks like.
Right, which I had in mind. Timing is everything. I walk in here and here's Lynn and you introduced us and I realized that now was my time to do the second edition of this book. And I think it's just flowing very nicely. We're only the first one, this is our first meeting together to discuss it, but everything went great. And the show, I believe, was I loved doing the show just now.
And I'm really fascinated because you told me the drawings in your book, and I think we gave our copy to Lynn, from your past life that you did not know, and when you reveal who you were in this past life, you drew the coat of arms of this royal family.
I did.
Not knowing.
I knew nothing of that lifetime at all. But my friend who was my guide here, and he seemed to be on every show, although he's not with us anymore in physicality, he never told me who I was, but he knew me from that lifetime, and he knew what I was drawing. I didn't. And I continued drawing. So to me, it was complete validation, because had he have told me, I wouldn't have believed it. But because I'm drawing from that life and drawing a lot of their coat of arms, of the people that I even knew, the characters that were playing, let's say in the play of this particular lifetime, I'm drawing, and things that I never, ever would have known. And as I mentioned on another show, he told me, he still didn't tell me. He said, go into the internet, now research some of what you have drawn. And I did, and there it was. And eventually I asked him, was I this particular person? He said, now you're finding out? Yes, you were. And he was in that lifetime with me. So it's hard for many people to understand that, even for me, but I had the proof on paper. I was drawing it.
I mean, you were from royalty in a past life. And Lynn, you've told us your story of royalty in Mexico.
I didn't
So people
know.
who are listening, they're going to go, so was everyone royalty in a past life?
I didn't know that.
That
You
Lynn
didn't
was?
know either.
Yeah, well, it came out through the writing of our book, Louise and I, and but royalty really, you can look at it from all the different perspectives of all the trappings of royalty, but it really is a mindset. It really is a way of looking at the world, and especially looking at yourself. And because if you understand that, then you are able to conduct yourself in a manner that brings honor to the royalty.
Interesting. Change of perspective.
And there are other people in here that were in that lifetime with me, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
So shall we be quiet about it, or shall we talk more?
Well, there's definitely, and we talk to Lynn about
Another,
this all the time, and you and I talk about this all the time. When you meet people and you know there's a connection, and you don't know why until this space opens up the energies of its magical space of soul connections. And it doesn't always mean you are husband and wife, you were lovers.
Right.
I mean, you and Louise was your seamstress in your past life to the king. And energies that are shared, and Sally and I have always had this, always. I've known you for 2 months. But from the instant I met, there was a connection of whatever this is, of some lifetime. So I have to ask you though about the dragons. Somewhere these dragons fit into your past.
Yes, they actually do. That means that Steve may have been in my past lives, which I believe he was in the last one too.
So are
because
dragons
he fell in
real?
love with dragons.
But
on
are
my
they
painting.
real?
You know what? I'm going to have to figure that out. I really don't know, because my drawings, I don't know what I'm drawing. I have no idea what I'm putting on the canvas. But this is a special one, I think, the dragons, and it's the largest painting I've actually ever done. So I need to look into that. Were there dragons in that particular lifetime? I don't think so. The one we're talking about, I think it goes back beyond, this is 15th, 16th centuries, right? I don't know when dragons first came into existence.
It's
We have to
interesting.
look that up. Does anyone know?
I
Do
don't
you
know.
know, Freddie?
I don't.
You look like you would know.
I don't think it has anything to do with dragons. I think it has to do with perspective. You know, Mary's probably wondering what the hell are they talking about. There is callings that we all have, and they come in different frequencies. And some have higher and some have lower, depending on where you are in your lifeline. So dragons can mean on paintings one thing, and dragons can mean people, circumstances. COVID can mean wars, can mean Putin, can mean Hitler, can mean a lot of things. The circumstance that you find yourself in and how they're placed around it as opposed to face to face, sometimes behind, it depends. Everything has a significance of what you think about. So it's not what you perceive in front of you, it could be something that you perceive later. It's going to come, you're going to see the reasons
But I
why.
think also, as far as what I'm seeing with people that have seen that, I mean, I've got a lot of paintings, but that particular one, it's where people are, what it might represent to them, what's maybe going on in their life, and they see part of that answer by looking at that particular, which we call the dragon, because they honestly do seem to have different expressions, but that's what we perceive, you know, I mean, how does a painting come alive? But it's what we see in that painting.
Your perception of it,
Your
yes.
perception,
And,
yes.
and once it manifests itself, that word, once it happens that you can see it, it doesn't mean that it didn't happen when you didn't see it.
Right.
And I was told by somebody once about my eyes are flooded with tears, and the next thing I know, things that I know are flooded out to the disappearance of homes and peoples and children.
Right.
So I go back and I say, maybe what you saw was a message to me as to what I should have perceived. I mean, there was nothing I could do about it, but here it comes. Sometimes a message is sent to prepare you for that message. You know?
Absolutely.
And don't overthink it, just let it happen. Don't think it, do it.
Don't think, do.
Don't think too. I mean, there's a lot of reasons why you find yourself with people that sit next to you. A lot of reasons. But only one reason is the main reason. And it's what you're going to perceive from it. It's what you're going to learn from it.
Right.
And this is why I liked yesterday having David on the set. Because David not once told us, do this. Never. He asks, what do you think?
Well, you and I are going to be doing a why. Is it a questionnaire? Lynn has something that you and I are going to be doing.
I saw that.
So it's a process. We call it a discovery. It uses a lot of questions that don't seem to make sense, but really do. And it uses a very sophisticated algorithm to help people discover their why.
So in a working relationship, and maybe it's something that the whole crew will be able to do, because if we understand everyone's why, it's kind of like the love languages, but for business. If I understand that maybe Katie, my example yesterday, likes pizza, but Christine would rather have a thank you, then when we're working with them, we understand what's important for them to how they receive the messages for more productivity. If you and I were ever to have a conflict, that we never do, we would understand each other's why as to what it is. So maybe it gets resolved easier, is the explanation Lynn gave me yesterday.
But I'm not into the why anymore of understanding. The whys happen. You know, I lost my brother.
I don't think it's the why of things happening, it's the why we do what we do.
Well, I lost my brother, and I still ask why. I mean, there's no answer to that why.
Right. Well, this is not that why, Freddie. This is a why of how you do things, of how you live
I
your
want to
life,
fill this thing up because
how you
I'm
make
totally
decisions.
confused.
And it's really there's the why question, which is another kind of why, where we spend so much of our time and energy trying to understand why something happened. I have a client who's a therapist, and he said, the worst possible question you can ask someone is why. Because most of us don't know why things happen. The better question to ask them is, what hurt you? And because that's something they can get with, because then they can think of the situation, the person, and how they felt. And then they can know what hurt. But if you ask why, you're asking such a deep question, you may never get the answer, and you could be frustrated for a lifetime. So the why that I'm talking about with the Why Institute is what drives you, what motivates you, what gets you out of bed in the morning.
But what if I tell you every day my why is different? I don't have a reason. I didn't even know who was coming on the set today. You want to know something funny? The kids asked me, who's on the set today? I didn't know she was coming. I didn't know it at all. But I got to tell you, her being here changed my presence, my whole viewpoint of today. Maybe the problem with me is that I don't have a reason why.
Well, and your why is not your calling, okay? Because you might have a calling in addition to your why. And so a calling is your personal why for why you are here. But again, that's not the why we're talking about. The why we're talking about is really what on a day-to-day basis, what motivates you, what drives you. And this you have your whole life. It doesn't change. And it's just very, very basic. And when you understand that, and you understand what the why is that other people have, you suddenly have insight into how to communicate with them. Because when you know their why, you know how to talk to them. And you can use language then that connects with them and helps you and them feel seen, heard, and understood, which is the core of every successful conversation.
And we do this separately?
And you do it separately. And then we're going to meet, and I'm going to go through your results with you individually together. And then we're going to talk about how your why and how and your what can bring the challenges that it brings for each of you and how you can overcome those challenges and then actually make it work for you and support you in your business partnership. And people can do this in life partnerships, they can do it in marriage, they can do it in their family, they can do it in their businesses. And but again, it's really important to understand that when you communicate with someone at the level of their why, they will hear you, they will understand you, and they will get you.
I think it's interesting.
I saw it on.
I know. When you and I have just been, we've been crazy. We haven't even talked about it until Lynn just sat here to do this.
Yes, we should fill it out.
So we're going to do that and see what else is happening. An editor's desk was spectacular yesterday.
It was a very interesting day, and I know you know because you were there. You were at the show last night. Louise and I lost a dear friend over the weekend, and really brought out some things in us. And we had a guest last night that was able to speak into how we change our perceptions, and especially changing our perceptions when we're experiencing personal loss. And we had scheduled this guest weeks ago. So it wasn't like we ran around trying to find someone to fit the information that we had just found out 2 days earlier.
It's interesting. It does change your perspective, your perception. Like we had B-Fly Lady Dion. When you lose a child or you lose somebody close to you, it makes the mundane little things that we worry about in life really seem unimportant because they truly are unimportant in the bigger picture of life, but we lose sight. Sometimes we need, unfortunately, things to put us back in perspective as to what's important.
Yes, absolutely. Perspective is critically important because when we are caught in a negative perspective, we're going to produce more negativity. And when we can see the possibility for good, and that's not in the immediate moments after we suffer the loss. It could be days, weeks, or months before someone is ready to look at what could possibly, the good that could possibly come from it. And so we don't rush people into that, but when someone is ready to talk about it, then there is a way to move into viewing the possibility that something good could come from it in time.
It reminds me of your story, Marianne. They missed the beginning of your story. Marianne is an incredible dancer, nurse practitioner, and danced with her husband professionally, competitively, until he was tragically killed in an accident. And now you continue to do this. And so it goes to what you said this morning. Do we see the messages when the situation happens, or do we sometimes we have to sit in it, as you say, Lynn, until we can bring something positive back out from it?
Can I just, because my daughter just passed away about 3 months ago now, and it's hard to see anything positive about her passing. However, as the time goes by, I ended up spending a lot of time over the last 6 months from her diagnosis to when she passed away, And I think I'm going to openly say I had not spoken to my daughter in a few years prior to this. So we were just discussing, I was given that opportunity to have a closure with her. Would I have preferred it, obviously, in a different way? But to me, I could have passed and should have passed before her. She was my daughter. I may never have had that closure. And it's still hard to talk about, but we laughed, we cried together. It was like the years that we hadn't spoken never really happened. So I can't say out of bad comes good. I would want her to be here now, of course, but I do see that closure, because I believe that we just transition, and that it was that way because I might not have ever had that. So I'm beginning to see more and more as the months go by, as we were just saying. I wasn't ready to see that in the beginning. It was too fresh. But even just sitting here right now, I see her smile, although she knew she was passing. I see all this. And in a way, it was a blessing. It was a blessing in a roundabout way, yeah.
Marianne, how did you keep going after your husband passed to continue to dance and to teach?
It was hard. It was really hard. The first couple of years, I really just existed. I got through work, and I did get involved a little bit with dance within the first year, but for the first 3.5 years, it was really, really hard. We were soulmates. We were inseparable. But then, you change your perspective a little bit, and you become grateful for what you had. So I'm just so grateful for the life I had with him, and I know he would want me to still live on and carry on dance. So, yeah.
Change of perspectives. So, Lynn, you got a lot ahead of you. You got a lot of stories to help share for people. What does that feel like for you to know that this is, to me, a calling for you to help people express their past?
Well, my why is contribute, which means everything I do, my goal is to make a positive contribution to the world. And there's so many different ways to do that, and one of the ways of doing that for me is to help people tell their story. And many people can tell their story, but they're not really writers. And so they could try to tell the story, but if the person trying to read it can't read it, or they can't stay with it, or they can't stay in it, no one's going to read their story. So part of my work is to not so much translate as it is just to edit to the level of where the story is easily readable, and yet to maintain the essence of the author in the work. Because when I start working with a client, one of the things I tell them is that what we're really doing with writing the book is we are creating the energy of the book. And the energy of the book is the energy of the author. And it's the energy of the author that attracts the reader. And so we work from that platform, understanding that the people that are meant to read the book will find it and read it because they will be drawn by the energy of the author.
You ready to write your book?
Almost. I tell you, I was going to take a chapter from everybody I've met.
You could have a very big book.
Encyclopedia.
It's like the book of life I talked about this morning. That would be your book of every person you've met in your lifetime.
It's interesting. There's a story behind everybody you meet.
Everybody, everything in this studio has a story.
It's really hard because I don't know if I want to write a story about what I went through, who I am. I don't know what I want to know. So what am I going to write about?
I don't. You got to ask the professionals.
I'd rather make a movie.
You and I talk for a living. I don't write, so.
I mean, there's like 3 sides to my life. The beginning, I used to think, let me go get them. It's all about me. You know how it all starts with you? Well, that was morning, noon, and night. And then after that, I got more into, and I want to be a dad, and I want to give a little. And then I went to now, which it ain't about me no more.
Now you give a lot.
It's not about me anymore. I should have learned this lesson a long time ago. It's funny, the more you give, the more you get back. I was doing it wrong all along.
People, not that. It just.
I was doing it wrong all along, I'm telling you.
Things change of perspective.
It's interesting because the more I hear people talk and they have these sayings, you know, like in the day we used to say certain words, and a word meant something. Now they have sayings that match or rhyme or, you know, things with hand gestures and all this stuff. All that
Period.
stuff. They do a period T.
Period T.
I can't keep up to all the changes, but there's one thing that stays always the same, and it's yourself. So, you know, meeting people like Lynn and Sally and the stories that I hear, and I love it when Sally's doing her show and a perfect stranger shows up and he sits right there and he starts with his phone like this because she's talking, and then he puts the phone down, looks up, and he's doing one of these moves because he heard something, and then he leans forward, and then he starts to get into the conversation.
The lean in.
The lean in. And I'm just sitting there watching all of this. It took 20 minutes for this whole thing. Then he didn't want to leave. He didn't want to leave. He says, I'll come back next week because of the things that he heard, right?
Right.
You know,
But it's interesting because we had Hallie on the other day, and Hallie is a medium or is not?
I don't know what Hallie is.
But Sarah is not a medium. So
No.
not all psychics are mediums. Not all psychics choose to connect to the other side to bring them out.
But I told you on the air, I didn't understand. I know Hallie Elise for 12 years. I produced her show for 4 years. Not one day did I understand this woman because she didn't want to do that. She didn't want to say, hello, can you tell me if I'm going to find a woman in my life? She didn't want to do that.
I
She
do
wanted-
relate to that because my message is, I don't know what I'm a psychic or a medium. It's just names, but I hear, so I know you call it channeling. But I really didn't want to answer, as I told you, I think when I first came here, personal questions about people. However, it is needed, and I see that today. I would sooner talk about things that I'm beginning to really understand about what happens with the energy, where we go. But I think my calling is also to answer when people ask me more personal questions on a personal level. I really haven't chosen that, but it's come towards me. I don't know. If people say, what are you? I am. I'm Xena.
So do you feel all the different energies and souls that are congregating in front of you right now?
I feel that I kind of if I give a personal message, I will take on, and I've been told this, the identity of the person that's passed. So if they ask a question, even to the way sometimes that I've even stood giving a message, because I saw a picture of this person, a friend of mine asked me, and she brought a picture of her, and I was standing up giving her the message, and I was standing, I wouldn't have known this, exactly how this lady was standing who had passed in that picture. So it was validation that I had taken on her energy. I mean, you think, well, that's really scary. I don't allow things to be scary to me, but I hear them. I don't always see people, but I hear them. So whatever you call that, and I hear my collective. I don't have to tune in. It happens to me, as you know, on the show right away.
On your show, I noticed that a lot of people ask, is this right, wrong, or indifferent? In other words, they want to hear that what they're doing or thinking or want to do is the right thing to do.
Well, that's kind of difficult to answer in a way because it's still a person who has free will. I can maybe say what I might feel during the conversation, that it may be a negative or a positive to continue with what the question is, but ultimately it's still up to that person on what they do. I don't like to give advice that it's this way or that way, because it isn't. There's still other entities in between that. I can say what I feel, but am I going to be 100% right on their journey? No, it might be 100% right of what I'm being told, but it may not follow through that way for that particular individual. Well, it's kind of difficult.
Well, it's the best thing, I'll ask, it's the best thing to tell somebody, if you're feeling it, then you should do it.
Well, I kind of think if I go back and I listen, I don't always listen to myself, but I listen, I think, and I've been told that the advice that I've given was perfect, because I don't want to lead someone down a path that might not be for them. But if they really strongly feel something, then my suggestion is, yes, carry through with that, because my answer would be that's probably your purpose to do that, or your path to do that. I can't tell you. I can tell you messages from people or give you names and what I see, but it doesn't, I don't know. Very often I'll give someone a message about a name or something, and they'll say, no, I don't know that person. 10 minutes later, they'll say, yes, of course I do. So, it's
Well,
everybody's
it's
different.
interesting because I'm a firm believer that if you're going to ask me a question and you're going to say, is this the way to be? Like people say, do you ever see me with somebody else? Like my son got married. I didn't think he was ever going to marry Valerie, ever, in a million years. But I am a firm believer that if you bring it up, then you want to do it. That you're looking for somebody to say, yeah, go do it, isn't what you should worry about.
So do you think Freddie should open a nightclub with Marianne?
I'm going to. It's going to happen. I'm telling you now, it's going to happen. Marianne doesn't believe it, or maybe
She's
she
giving
does.
you a thumbs up.
Maybe she does. But Marianne, think about this. If we don't do it, then what's the difference? Right? I mean, we don't have one now, but if we do it and it works, you're going to say, holy cow. We had people in here say, I want to have a talk show. That's okay, let's do it. Because they wanted to do it. And look at them now. And they have talk shows for months now. I got a guy that's been with me 8 years. I got another lady 7 years.
Yeah.
Said the same thing. I want to do this. Should I do this? Well, if you're asking me, then let's go do it. What is your phone with you?
They're telling us
What
we
is
got to
it?
wrap it up.
What's wrong with your fingers? Your fingers are tied together?
They're telling us it's time to wrap it up.
Adam, I firmly believe if you think it, you should do it.
So thank you all so much for joining us. Sally Bernard, Lynn Everard, Marianne Rosa. Check it out, hustleintoparadise.net, coming to you on March 30th, 4 days of dancing and having some fun at the Hilton True in Pompano Beach. Maybe Freddie will be there. You want to write a book?
I'm going down to the hotel. I want to go.
Connect with Lynn.
I got nothing to do this weekend.
Really?
I really don't.
Wow.
Is that strange?
You should not say that too loudly.
I think
Because
so.
you know what happens?
What?
They're going to give you plenty to do. Never test what's out there is all I can tell you. Have a great weekend, everyone. Tune into the Florida Love Show today at 3 o'clock. If you celebrate Rosh Hashanah and the Jewish New Year, to all of our family and friends
Happy
that
New
do,
Year.
happy and healthy, sweet New Year. And we will see you Monday. Have a great weekend.
Don't be late.
Bye-bye.
Well, that's about it for today. Even though the show's over, the Brooklyn Cafe is always open for business. You're invited to join the fun every day from 12 to 2. If you missed some of the laughs from today, Dawn and Freddie S. will bring you more good cheer next time. You can follow the Brooklyn Cafe on Facebook at the Brooklyn Cafe TV to rewatch every minute of the show. We'll see you next time.